Need a lift?
After nearly 2 weeks of walking, leaving over 100 miles of the coast road behind you, Candlekeep's soaring spires are finally close enough to reveal their details. Set atop a craggy peninsula, rising above the Sea of Swords, the fortress overlooks the surrounding farmland, while keeping a healthy distance from the wild and shadowy Cloakwood.
At last! I had forgotten how long it can take to travel when one does not have wings with which to fly. It certainly seems tedious. Remember, Candlekeep is the home of the Avowed, the greatest scholars on the continent. Be respectful, follow their rules, and try not to let anything too uncivilized come out of your mouth.
I'll try not to say anything too embarrassing. Oh, great and sensitive one.
You jest, but we need these people, and some of them can be prickly, even pompous. It is what can happen when you are at the front of your field or the pinnacle of your craft for too long.
Anything I should know about this place before we go any further?
Last I was here, they only allowed the local scholars called the Avowed through the Emerald Door into the inner ward where the libraries are. They have since eased their restrictions somewhat, I have heard, but be prepared to do some favors or pay for entrance.
Pay? With what money? You said the 100 gold my father gave me was a
Pitiful sum outside of your minor hamlet.
your words.
I am sure that you will figure something out.
Anything else I should know?
While the Citadel itself is a safe and secure place, be wary of the surrounding lands. I have hunted here before, and I have seen a number of foul, albeit fairly weak creatures here. Expect more than those few encounters we had on the road.
We? I was the one who had to do all the fighting.
Ha! If you call that flailing about fighting, then yes, you were.
Well, I'm actually looking forward to this, Vair.
What did you just call me?
Vair. Come now. Endandravair is a bit of a mouthful, isn't it?
Endandravair is the name given to me by my mother, a great worm of majesty, wisdom, and beauty, the likes of which you can scarcely imagine. Vair is childish, altogether too familiar.
Yeah, but it's easier. And it's what everyone at home called you. Now let's get going. We're burning daylight.
Excuse me? These fields look almost untended, and I do not hear any farmhands or livestock. Have these places been abandoned for some reason? Keep a keen eye out. If these people fled their homes, they must have had a good reason to do so.
Hey, you! Wait, I've got something to tell you about those guards. We're starting to wonder if you'd actually stop to talk.
What do you need to warn us about?
Well, the guards aren't going to let you in. I saw you coming up the road, and it's pretty clear you're not from here, so no one's going to let you in, even to the Court of Air.
Why aren't they letting strangers in?
People have been going missing in the area. Travellers and locals alike. Those farms you pass by, for example. Yeah, the families that live there just up and vanished. No sign of an attack or anything. So the people in charge are getting right paranoid and only allowing residents to enter the city.
Who are you, anyhow?
Oh, people around here just call me Scratch. It's not a very inspiring nickname, but better give 'em my real name in case the authorities come sniffing around. Used to work in the city office as a scribe, but didn't work out.
What's the Court of Air?
Your first time here, huh? It's a big courtyard area, kind of like a small town in itself where people who aren't among the avowed can live, work, and just find some lodging if they're travellers like you. Only the avowed are allowed to stay in the inner ward after all.
So how do we get in?
If you're gonna enter Candlekeep, you're gonna need a residence pass. They handed them out to all the locals in their jurisdiction, but it was pretty rushed, and with my special set of skills, I can make one that will fool the guards into letting you through the gate. What do you say? 25 gold, and the documents will be all yours.
Fine. We have a deal.
Good. Now, I can't make this pass from nothing, and I sold my last copy a week ago, so you'll need to find one of your own that I can modify. Look at those farmhouses, though. The families there were either taken or left in a hurry. They might have one or two lying around. Bring back a copy, plus payment, and I'll get to work. Be careful, though. The people are gone, but I've heard some rustling around there and a lot of strange sounds. Never seen anything, but it gives me the creeps. And I think I saw someone go into one of those houses, maybe to stay the night, but I never saw them come out. Probably just missed them, though. Good luck!
Of course, we have to do the legwork.
We? I'm the one doing all the work. You're just along for the ride.
I will contribute as best I can. My advice by itself could prove invaluable.
Yeah, if you ever give it. What is this thing?
Some sort of construct, it would seem. I would presume that it is guarding this house, unless someone left it with more malicious intentions.
Thanks, but that advice isn't helping me to kill it.
Just tear it apart. If it cannot hold itself together, it is no threat. To think you needed my help to figure even that out.
Finally! What were those things doing on a farm? I don't think seagulls justify that level of protection.
No, perhaps they wandered here. Rogue constructs are not unheard of. Still, you might learn something if you look around. Then again, what have scarecrows to do with our mission?
Not much, I guess.
Katra, I'm going to try something. Do not be alarmed if things start to look different.
Wait, what? Whoa. Okay, what's going on?
I said not to be alarmed. I was uncertain if I could do this while in your body, but my intimate connection to the material plane allows me certain privileges of perception when...
Plain speak, please. Village kid, remember?
Of course. In essence, I can see some elements of magic, how enchantments work, their origin or nature, what they draw power from. It depends on the situation, but you get the gist of it. Perhaps this will help on occasion, though I must admit that it is somewhat taxing to use this ability with your body. Please be quick.
So what does this red stuff mean?
Without getting into the fine details, this is residual magic from what was powering those scarecrows. It tells us that, in this case, these constructs were powered by magic drawn from the lower planes.
Lower planes?
Other realities connected to ours, where evil things like devils and demons live, among other unsavory entities. Hades, the Abyss, Pandemonium, none of them too pleasant to visit.
What would that kind of magic be doing here?
I cannot say. Some people draw power from such places, making contracts with fiendish creatures or finding other ways to tap into those planes' powers. Sometimes creatures from there also escape into the world, either through a summoning gone wrong or random circumstance. We have too little information to judge by. Still, this is worrisome. Be careful, lest a Garistro catch you by surprise and turn you into a snack.
A what now?
Giant minotaur-like, pig-bat-faced demon thing. Not great at parties.
Vair, was that a joke?
Do not call me that.
Folded and then stuffed haphazardly among a pile of now rotting onions, you find a piece of parchment marked with an official-looking seal and titled Evidence of Residence in the Candlekeep Territories. A bit wordy and a bit more aromatic than you'd like, but it should do the trick.
Good. Now return to that individual Scratch. Let us hope that he is adequate to the task.
Hope or not, we don't have many other options to resort to, Vair.
Why must you insist on calling me that?
It's what everyone in the village called you. It's easier than saying your full name.
Be glad that I am a magnanimous and forgiving dragon, else I would be inclined to start tearing up your mind again.
Don't worry, you're already a big enough headache as it is.
Ah, is that a bit of legal documentation I see there? And smell? Phew. Okay, well, you work with what you've got, right? Give me a bit to scrape off and refinish the important parts, then I'll start with colour matching, then confirming handwriting, and your eyes are glazing over. Just give me the goods and wait a bit. And here you go. Certification that you absolutely belong to the area and can come and go as you like. Just don't let any wizards near it. They get curious. They've probably got spells or something that can sniff out a forgery. Otherwise, though, no one will ever be the wiser. Enjoy the castle!
Papers, please.
Here's my residence certificate.
The guard glances at the paper, noting the seal and the signatures, but does not peer too closely. Watching him scrunch up his nose, the cursory inspection might have to do with not wanting to put his face too close to the smell of rancid onions.
All right. Everything looks fine. Head on in. Just keep an eye out for any strange activity.
Passing through the city walls, you are dumped into a large, open square that seems to double as a marketplace. It is not exactly brimming with life, but considering how you've lived nearly all of your life in a small village, the number of people in one place is staggering, and the activity threatens to be overwhelming.
Good. That was tedious, but we made it. Now the next part could be problematic. Only the avowed and certain others are allowed into the inner ward through the emerald door on the far side of this courtyard. Talk to the keeper there and determine what is required to get in and speak with one of the experts.
What business have you here, child?
I wish to speak with one of the researchers.
You and everyone else. Do you have an appointment or a letter of introduction?
Well, I don't have an appointment or a letter or anything like that. How do I get in?
Do you have a rare manuscript to donate that is not already included in the city's collection?
No.
Then you won't be getting in anytime soon.
How can I get in without donating some absurdly rare book?
You can petition for a place on the waiting list. If you were to submit the appropriate forms and filing fee right now, you will be 1,892nd on the list. That is about a 5-month wait. Maybe 7.
What is your job here?
I am the keeper of the Emerald Door. If you cannot deduce my duties from that, then a nexus of learning may not be an appropriate place for you.
Thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
This is unacceptable. We must find someone to assist us, and soon. I can only imagine what those monsters are doing with my body, and already I chafe at being confined to yours.
Wow, thanks. Well, do you happen to know where we could find a rare or unique book?
No. Distasteful as this may be, we might have to find another dubiously legal way around this problem. Actually, I remember passing a sewer grate earlier. If there are sewers for this outer area, then they surely have some for the inner ward.
So, you want me to break into a sewer, sneak through Ogma knows what kind of filth, and then break into the inner ward to, what, kidnap or threaten a scholar into helping us?
Presumably, we would be able to find someone more reasonable, or at least amenable to our request. However, we cannot do that from out here. The sewers are our only option right now.
You only say this because you won't have to smell what I do.
Actually, I will. You think I only see through your eyes? Child, I am bound to experience everything that you do. Believe me, sharing in your bodily functions these past weeks has been far from enjoyable.
Ew. Okay, point taken. Sewers it is then, I guess?
An elven woman was once imprisoned here. As punishment for trying to take over Candlekeep, she was made to be the lighthouse's sole keeper and to live here in isolation for the rest of her days. She died from an accident only a few years later, but locals swear that they can hear her sad, maddened singing coming from the tower on dark, misty nights.
Ugh, this is what living in a city means? How can one place produce so much filth?
You sounded as if you knew what you were getting into.
I thought I did. Didn't think it'd be this plentiful.
The byproduct of civilization. People are messy.
Fire? Are you okay?
Do not call me that. It's strange. Even without a body or the need to breathe, I feel a tightness in my chest, lightheadedness. I think that it would be best to spend as little time in here as possible. Please, hurry through this place.
Well, I was actually just getting used to the smell. Thought maybe we could wander around a bit, maybe find a spot for a picnic.
No. We will move through here as quickly as possible. Do you understand?
Wait, you don't sound so good. What's going on?
We need to move quickly. You are wasting time.
Something is definitely wrong. Are you hurt? In danger?
No. Now move.
Is there anything I can do to help?
No. Now stop asking idiotic questions.
Alright, let's make this quick.
That is the right direction, and it seems to no longer be sewers beyond this point. These are probably the tunnels running beneath the inner ward I have heard of. Catacombs, vaults, labs. Much of the work and knowledge of the Avowed is down here, it seems. Unfortunately, there is a ward on the door. You will need to find a key, unless you wish to be fried.
No, I don't.
Wait, look at that. On the ground.
There's nothing on the ground.
Precisely.
Helpful?
The rest of this place is a riot of grime and muck, child, yet this path is almost spotless. I would be willing to bet half of my entire hoard that a gelatinous cube has come this way.
A what now?
An oozing monster that inhabits places like this. Some people and more intelligent creatures keep them as witless guardians and janitors. The things absorb and dissolve any animal or plant material they touch as a way of eating. They cannot dissolve metals and other non-living things, though, so they can carry the equipment and goods of whomever they have eaten for some time.
Whomever? As in people?
Of course. Do not be dense, child. Now follow this trail. You might find something interesting floating in the cube's body. Just be careful, though, as they can be transparent and thus easy to overlook. There, look. The thing has a key inside of it. It must have either a maintenance worker or one of the avowed. That might get us out of the sewers and into the cleaner part we saw earlier. Just don't let the creature suck you up. Please? Yes, it looks as if an enchantment quite similar to the one on the locked door is embedded in this key. It should work to get us through.
And what if it sets off the trap?
Then you had best hope that the mage who put it there set it more as a deterrent rather than a defense.
Okay, just going to open the door. The magically trapped door stuffed with potentially lethal lightning. Right, okay. And still alive. Right, well, that's good. Yeah.
Oh, be not so dramatic. You could find much worse before we are done here. I have heard tell that there are guardians and occasional escaped experiments down here, though that may just be rumor.
Wow, thanks. The possibility of even greater danger certainly sets my mind at ease. Thanks, Fire.
Stop calling me that.
What?
Get back!
Whoa!
Good job. That creature was known as...
A mimic. Yeah, I've heard of those things. Didn't expect it to be so... slimy, though. Why did it have a key inside of it, though? Did it eat someone like the cube did?
Probably not. Otherwise, we would have seen some more gruesome evidence of the meal. No, some people feed mimics various items that they need to hide or protect. If you know how to handle one of these things, they can be rather convenient guardians. As long as you keep them fed, that is.
Yeah, I can imagine the alternative.
Well, unfortunately, it seems that this ensorcelled armor is tied to the exit. Unless you have a powerful dispelling magic at your disposal that you have neglected to mention, you will have to defeat this thing to undo the seal over the door.
You're saying I have to fight a piece of armor with no obvious weaknesses, or even a person inside to take out? Let me guess, I have to just beat it into a useless hunk of metal, kinda like I did the scarecrows?
Precisely.
I'm really starting to hate constructs. Better be worth all the trouble we've gone to, Vair. How are we going to get someone to help us, though? We're breaking in.
Let us consider that later. First, we need to get out of these tunnels. Someone might have heard the battle or noticed that the enchantment on the door is broken. We can determine our course once we are safely hidden within the inner ward.
Oh, nice place.
Thank you. Unfortunately for you, chances are that you will only see it as you are taken away to a prison cell.
Get us out of here. We cannot be imprisoned. Not in a cell. Fight! Run! Do something!
Are you joking? There's so many of them. We'll be torn to shreds if we resist.
While we would normally have prevented you from coming this far, Sage Thesserai has taken an interest in you. Now you are to attend him personally.
Whatever you do, do not allow them to incarcerate us. Do not give them a reason.
Who is Sage Thesserai?
Seriously, you broke into here without even knowing who the people in charge are. Not a very wise burglar, are you?
Who are you?
I am a captain within the Avowed City Guard, and probably the person to lock your cell door behind you. That is all you need know.
Okay, I'll go. Where do I find them?
He is waiting for you in Exaltation, the Keep. Consider this an honor, as few of those outside of the Avowed are allowed entry to our home. You are to head directly to the Great Library. Do not attempt to deviate from the main path. We will be watching you.
That is far enough.
Are you Thesserai?
I am.
Poof! I am here. What are your other two wishes?
Wishes? I don't, Good one.
Why am I here?
You caught my interest. We have all sorts of detection spells in the sewers. You pinged a half-dozen of them when you sneaked in, and a dozen more when you entered the catacombs.
What do you do here?
I'm the Sage of Magic in Candlekeep. That means that I am the leading scholar on magic and the department head of magical studies here. I also work as a lawmaker with the other sages. It's not terribly glamorous, if I'm being honest. It involves lots of committee work.
What happens to me now?
Do not attempt to resist the spell. If you resist, then we will have to detain you and try again until you cooperate. Lots of extra bother.
As the spell activates, you feel something press against your mind, and on some level you know that it is trying to pry away your ability to lie. The intrusion is sudden and sets your teeth on edge, and your first reaction is to resist. However, considering where you are and the promise of a jail cell, or worse if you do not cooperate, you relax and allow the spell to take hold.
Good. Now let's get the boring stuff over with. Do you intend to harm anyone in this city, be it specifically in terms of property or any other way that includes, but is not limited to, theft, spying, or harassment?
No, I do not.
Good. Next, why did you sneak into the inner ward?
We need the help of someone who understands magic, and we cannot afford to wait.
There are more of you. Well, let's come back to that. Okay, now the interesting stuff. Why do some of our spells register you as a dragon and a human? You aren't some abomination, and you aren't a construct or other made thing, so what exactly are you?
Careful.
Is it bad if I'm part dragon or something?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen something quite like this before. Rather than kick you out or put you in some sort of lab, though, I would really rather you just tell me. Otherwise, I might have to be a bit more personal with my investigations. Nothing painful, of course. Well, I hope, anyhow.
A group of people stole the soul of a dragon's body, and it accidentally got put into my body. They took the body away after infesting it with some sort of monster.
How about while we've got this handy zone of truth working, you just tell me everything you can about how this dragon came to inhabit you, and we work from there. Well, hopefully they will be able to use what you told us to find out more about this group that you encountered and the monsters accompanying them. In the meanwhile, we need to discuss whether or not Candlekeep will assist you in your predicament.
Whether or... How could they refuse us? Tell him that Endandravayer demands their aid. It is only fitting that they should restore me to my rightful form.
Is there a way we can convince you to help?
Well, yes, I happen to have something in mind. You see, there is a clock tower nearby where a colleague of mine named Adro lives. However, no one has heard from him in some time. Since there have been reports of monsters going in and out as they please, it is probably safe to assume that Adro is now dead. Sad as that is, the old codger had a valuable book in his collection. I want you to clear out the vermin, and if Wizard Adro is imprisoned or injured, help him. If he is missing or dead, then find and take the book. You do this, and we'll call it even as far as your crimes go.
What's the book I'm looking for?
The last written work of the late and great Archmage Mordenkainen, the Planeswalker's Guide, Interplanar Travel, and its effects on spellcraft.
Enter what now?
Traveling between the planes of existence and exploring the multiverse that you have no interest in, judging by your glassy expression. It's important, all right? Excellent. Well, in that case, I am looking forward to hearing from you once you have concluded your investigation. Until then, try not to die.